Chael Sonnen believes Merab Dvalishvili could be risking his career by waiting for a title shot. Aljamain Sterling currently sits at number 1 in the bantamweight rankings, with Merab behind him at number 2. The champ Sean O'Malley, however, does not seem interested in the Merab fight. He has called out Chito Vera, Henry Cejudo, and even Ilia Topuria since. Chael said with Merab saying that he is going to wait and do nothing else. "My next fight will be for the belt. I'm willing to wait." In fact, he qualifies by saying, "I'm even willing to wait a year if that's what it takes." When your phone rings and you're given an opportunity, no matter how massive that opportunity is, when you turn it down and try to talk about, "I've won 9 fights in a row, I've proven who I am," is that contingent on the fact that Aljo has a backdoor deal? That he's had a conversation and he's got a reasonable expectation that he will get Sean anywhere in the near future? Because if not, it would really seem as if Merab is risking his career. Dana White recently responded to the rumors of Ronda Rousey and Brock Lesnar returning to the UFC. On Brock Lesnar, Dana said, "I think Brock's done. I don't think he's ever coming back." On Ronda Rousey, Dana said there's no shot. She's accomplished everything she set out to do. Her dream was to win a UFC championship, then win a WWE championship, and she's done it. Now she's starting a family. Ronda has made so much money, and she's still making a lot of money in sponsorships. Chris Weidman responds to Dana White saying that he tore both his ACL and LCL in the fight against Brad Tavares. Weidman says that's actually not true, and he only has a 4-week recovery time. He has no plans of retiring.
What do you think Chris Weidman should do after
retire?
Retire?
Yeah, I love Chris Weidman. I love him. I love his family, and I think he should retire. We talked to Doc D. Doc D thinks he blew his MCL, ACL. He blew one of the CLs, and guy's just coming back from a gruesome injury, and listen, man, father time is not our friend at all, but definitely if you're a professional athlete, it's.
So if he comes up to you and says, "I want one more fight," is that something you say like, "Hey, maybe let's talk about this"?
First of all, depending on the damage to the knee, you're talking another year. So I would say, Chris, I love you. Please retire.
Dana White, it went viral. Chris Weidman, please retire. So I try to put myself in other people's shoes. I spoke to Dana White that night. So let's start with his comments. I see his comments. To see your boss say that about you, it kind of sucks. You know what I mean? That's not something you ever want to hear your boss say. But if I put myself in his shoes, he's told by the doctor, after I've been out for 2.5 years with a super serious, probably the worst injury in the history of the UFC, I come back from that, and then he finds out before the presser that I tore my ACL and my LCL. That's another year right there. So when he's asked, what do you think's wrong, next for Chris? He tore his ACL and his LCL. I mean, I'd probably say, yeah, he should retire too. If I tore my ACL and my LCL, man, I mean, I would that might be it. That might be it for me. I hate to just put blanket statements on myself, but yeah, that's probably it for me. But I only have a 4-week recovery now, and so it's not like I fought bad. I still love this. It's not like I'm doing this. I'm not doing this just for the money. Do I like getting the money from it? Yes, but I don't need it. I have listen, I got options. I got options for myself. I'll be good for the rest of my life. But I love what I do, and I have more to offer the sport. I still think I could bring a lot to the table and bring some great fights. So when I'm done, I'll know it and we'll be done. But it's not yet.
Daniel Cormier gives props to Anthony Smith for his victory over Ryan Spann this past weekend. On his YouTube channel, DC said Ryan Spann and Anthony Smith fought. Ryan Spann hit Anthony Smith a couple of times really hard. Anthony Smith was able to fight through that and get the victory. Why is that important? Because guys, I thought Anthony Smith was done, as did so many others. We thought that this was a guy who was going out there and fighting and making money, but it kind of lost the idea that he could be one of the best in the world. He never said that, but we as the talking heads in the world thought Anthony Smith was done. He proved at UFC Singapore that the fighting spirit is still there. Hats off to Lionheart. This guy isn't as set on his TV career as I thought. The back and forth between Anthony Smith and Alex Pereira continues. It started with Smith saying that Pereira isn't as big and scary at light heavyweight as he was at middleweight. Pereira took offense to this and fired back at Smith, calling him washed up. Smith has responded to Pereira on his SiriusXM radio show. He said, "I'll be honest, I texted Glover Teixeira yesterday and said, what in the f*** is this? I'm trying to figure out which direction I'm supposed to go here. Did he take something out of context? Is he reading headlines or did he actually listen to what I said? Because what I said was that, essentially, he's the same size as everyone else. You think if I said Islam Makhachev is the same size as every lightweight, he's going to come at me pissed off about it? No. My whole point was that he moved up to 205, so he's not going to enjoy the same size advantage that he did at 185. That's it. Is that crazy? Am I wrong? The whole question was, you're a guy that moved up from 185 to 205. What are some of the things that you experienced that Alex may be experiencing? And what do you see as the differences? I said the difference is he's not the largest guy in the division. He went from being the largest middleweight on planet Earth to being a normal-sized 205er. Then I went on to say, what makes him special, I used the word special, that he's a special talent when it comes to being a striker and that the division is more interesting with him in it. I said a bunch of nice shit about you, and you're going to talk shit. I don't think so. That's not how this works. Then we're just going to shake hands when we see each other because you're doing this media thing because you're looking for a rival. If you want a f***ing rival, you've got one right here. I didn't do shit to you. I've been nothing but complimentary of him and his whole team and a lot of his training partners. I don't know what I did to that guy. Following Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series last night, Dana had some harsh words from Merab Dvalishvili at the post-fight press conference. Dana is not a fan of Merab's mentality towards fighting for the title and says the UFC may not be the place for him.
And you touched on a little bit about maybe who's next for O'Malley. And I'm just wondering, what is the likelihood that it would be Merab? I know that there's some controversy of him not wanting to fight. He wants Aljo to have the rematch. What's your idea for that?
Everybody in this room and everybody who watches this video knows how I feel about this. Yeah. Yeah, I hate it. Hate it. And if that's, why did you even get into this sport? If that's your mentality and the way that you think. I don't even want the title. I don't even want the championship. We're friends. We're this, we're that. This is not, you can be friends with everybody in this business. There's a lot of nice people in this business, a lot of good people. This is not about friendship. This is about finding out who the best in the world is. And if you don't want to find out who the best in the world is, this is not the place for you. You should be somewhere else. There's plenty of places to fight where they don't give a what you do. Doesn't work here.
Aljamain Sterling and Merab responded to Dana via Instagram. Aljo posted this to his story. He wrote, "If I don't get the rematch because of politics, then give Merab the title shot he earned. Either way, it's a win for us. #family." And Merab reposted it to his story. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post future ones. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Casual TW10. It says, "We show respect to Stephen Thompson here." The second one's from Atomic Punk. It's in reference to the back and forth between Vitor Belfort and Sean O'Malley. It says it's only okay to cheat in the octagon. Vitor Belfort. Probably. And the final one's from Took. It says if Wonderboy beats Usman, he deserves a title shot. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured on the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. If you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen to get caught up. And make sure to go subscribe to our second channel where we post our exclusive MMA interviews.